short answer, yes, but it's really grindy. The fact that this video says part 1 should give you an idea on how bad it's going to get in the next few episodes, and just generally late game. So before we get into it, I'm going to establish some ground rules. 1, I'm starting on survivalist difficulty, which is the hardest difficulty in the game. Number 2, my only damage upgrades can come from level ups. So no new weapons. I can only use the starting level 1 Splattershot Junior that the game gives me in the very first level. 3, no tank or gadget upgrades whatsoever, which means I can't spend any of the points I get from level ups. And for the jokes, I'm just not going to upgrade the hideout ship at all throughout the entire playthrough, despite how much that they nag at me for it. Number 4, gadgets are allowed, which ties back into number 3, and they're allowed since they're essentially just this game's version of sub-weapons, so it would feel kind of weird to not give myself a full kit that every other game gives me, but I'm not allowed to use any other ones. I only get the Splatchet, the Blast Boot, and the Shot Pot that I start out with, nothing else. Number 5, Showstopper upgrades are allowed, since Big Man's going to be the MVP of this entire playthrough. Spoilers. And I don't feel like modding or juggling the other ones to prevent it from powering up, so that's just something that's going to happen. And lastly, I'm going to play as many levels as possible, less so required for the challenge, but more so a self-imposed challenge. So like all the optional levels that show up on the side islands, I'm not going to worry about those immediately, but I will do them for content. Like any you don't see in this video will be in the next video. And then of course, as for regular YouTube stuff, remember to like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you want to see more. Hate to shill so early in the video, but it's proven to work, so enjoy. So starting off, I'm going to skip over the tutorial set of levels, since you're not strong by this point anyways. So first up is the tanks. As a tactical tank enjoyer, I decided to start with it and see how far it could take me before actually trying to figure out which tank will work the best for the challenge, like the explosion of the Blast Boot or the piercing of the Splatchet. I just wanted to see how far it would get me. And as for another note, I'm also not going to be talking about the surface levels at all, because all those levels have no time limit, so I can take my time, approach encounters, fall back if I need to, and just generally take my time to not die. So I'm only really going to address them if something noteworthy happens, like a major difficulty spike or something along those lines. Because the main difficulty of this challenge is going to come from all the sub-levels, because they need to be completed in a row. And they're timed, which is going to be the hard part, and why the challenge is so grindy, because you need to have enough DPS, you can kill enough things to get enough power eggs to progress, and if you lose, even on the last sub-level, you have to go back and do it all over again. So, even in this first clip where I'm showing me beating the tutorial sub-level, it's not easy. Well, it is easy, but not how it should be for this point if you're even using a level 2 or 3 weapon, and having used a few of your gadget parts, you should be stronger than I am here. So it's only going to get harder. Now, I'm not even going to acknowledge when I play most of the surface levels, like I said, the mining ones especially, because they're even longer and even more tedious. But this clip perfectly highlights just how quickly I can get overwhelmed by even basic salmonids just a handful of levels into the game. Oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god.
splat already. That is not a good sign.
Indeed, recording me, it is not. Because the first real set of caves after this is when I realized just how bad the grinding was going to get. Barely making it above half of the needed power eggs on the first floor within my first few attempts. It's at this point that I swapped over to the power tank for the Splatchet's piercing damage, which is going to come in handy for all the scrappers that are going to start appearing throughout the early game. But it still doesn't help that I'm such low level 3 at the moment, so my damage is still abysmal, so even with piercing, that's not really doing much. So I go from that first attempt that brought me to level 4 all the way up to level 7 before I make it down to the boss sub-level 3 for the first time. And due to my low DPS, I immediately die and lose and need to start over, and not beating it again until I grind up to level 9. But after beating that, clearing an easy main level, I decided to test my strength in optional levels and immediately died. Second cave, which had to have taken at least an hour of recorded time for me to beat, not counting warm-ups and practice, I didn't make it past the first sub-level even a single time. Not even once. So that's around when I decided to drop the survivalist difficulty clause. Not sure, you can call it a skill issue if you want, but not because I don't think I could do it, but because I don't want to burn myself out on the game, and frankly kind of value my time because I still have a full-time job. So I'm dropping the game down to normal mode, and will be for the rest of both this video and the future videos. And after I swapped down to Raider, which is normal mode, I beat it on my first try. Again, it's entirely possible, I can almost guarantee it, I just don't have the patience or hate for myself to suffer through it and do it on survivalist. So after finally getting past that hurdle, it's time for the first real boss. Unfortunately, bosses aren't really the same as the normal sub-levels in this game because there's no time limit, just like the main levels. You don't go down through several sub-levels. All you do is go through the boss. And again, because the boss has no time limit, there's really no added difficulty, even if I were to still be playing on Raider. The only big difference here is it takes longer. That's it. That's the only main difference. Now, I know this is a lot shorter than my usual other videos, but I really didn't know how to pace this one because I had intended initially to just make it one big video with the entire game, but of course, because of my work schedule being 20 days away from home and away from all of my recording equipment, that didn't actually end up being possible. I have up to and a little bit past the second main boss recorded. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to actually edit it and get a video ready for you guys in between. So it's going to be a bit until even part 2 comes out. Again, I apologize, but that's just kind of how my schedule went. I got busy with personal stuff and all that fun stuff. So this one's going to be a bit of a shorter video, but I'm really hoping the next 2, for part 2 and part 3, I can really extend them to be their usual length again. If you watched all the way through, thank you so much for watching. It means a lot. I'll try to get the second part out as quickly as I can as soon as I'm back at home. And I'll get to recording the third part for you. Again, like and subscribe, all that fun stuff would really help me out. I really want to be able to do this as like my actual job so that I can do this for you guys full time. And pardon my inexperience, but that's enough yapping from me. Thanks for watching, you guys. Love you, appreciate you. I'll see you next time. And now I'm going to leave you with Shiver's performance at the end of the boss fight. Bye-bye.